When one thinks of coal mining, this is probably not the image that comes to mind. Yes, this clip that I have just shown you is coal mining. It is strip mining, or mountaintop removal. There are 6 steps in this process. They are clearing, blasting, digging, dumping waste, processing, and reclamation. Clearing involves removing all vegetation and topsoil on and around the mountaintop. Blasting is blowing up the top 500 to 800 feet of the mountain. Then, they must remove the coal and debris. Afterwards, the waste is dumped into valleys and streams. They then process the coal by washing it and loading it into trains. Finally, the reclamation is supposed to occur. Reclamation involves restoring vegetation, so replacing the plant life that was once on that mountaintop. Often, though, this does not happen because the mining companies receive waivers exempting them from this task. While this process may not sound extreme or horrible, what it does to the Appalachian landscape is indeed. This is especially an issue in central Appalachia, or Kentucky, West Virginia, Virginia, and Tennessee. Julian Martin of the Ohio Valley Environmental Coalition explains that between 1992 and 2002, 380,000 acres of mountaintops were destroyed. If that wasn't enough, there was a projected loss of more than 1.4 million acres by the end of 2010, an area the size of Delaware. The first step of mountaintop removal is clearing, meaning that all vegetation is removed from the mountaintop. Trees, bushes, and flowers are all dug up and dumped into streams and valleys. Those plants provided homes for animals, and the trees provided us with oxygen. Some may argue that coal companies could use the trees commercially, like selling them to a lumber company. Unfortunately, this does not happen. They are burned or dumped with the rest of the vegetation into valleys and streams. By dumping the vegetation along with the waste created from the coal, the rivers of Appalachia become polluted. Already, more than 7% of Appalachian forests have been cut down, and more than 1,200 miles of streams across the region have been buried or polluted. 1,200 miles is a greater distance than that of the Ohio River. That being said, not all of the coal waste is dumped into streams. Coal companies created impoundments to contain coal waste and sludge. While their attempts at containing this toxic material must be appreciated, these impoundments are notoriously leaky. The worst incident with an impoundment to this day was in 2000, when an impoundment leaked in Martin County, Kentucky. According to the Ohio Valley Environmental Coalition, it left more than 300 million gallons of coal slurry. The slurry in this situation alone killed about 1.6 million fish within a 70-mile span of streams. Mountaintop removal is not only detrimental for the environment, it causes issues for society as well. When the Appalachian streams are buried and polluted, families lose their safe drinking water. Mountaintop removal damages the water in many ways, including adding heavy metals, sulfuric acid, and other mining contaminants in waterways and drinking water wells. And also, deformed fish carrying toxic levels of selenium have been found in 73 of the 78 streams affected by mountaintop mining. The people of Appalachia have to bathe their children in water that has arsenic levels as high as 130 times what the Environmental Protection Agency deems safe to drink. It isn't only the environmental issues that affect these people. The process of mountaintop removal requires fewer workers since the coal companies use explosives to blow the top off and then have large dragline machines collect most of the coal. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor, there were as many as 145,000 miners employed in West Virginia in the early 1950s before mountaintop removal mining. In 2004, there were just over 16,000. You may be wondering why I care about this project. No, I am not from Appalachia, nor do I have any relatives that lost their job because of mountaintop removal. The first time I encountered this issue was on a mission trip with my youth group. It was the summer after my freshman year of high school and my first time traveling with Appalachia Service Project. I would spend a week providing home repairs for a family in need. Upon arriving at the home, it was easy to tell what my job for the week would be: digging. After talking with the ASP staff and members of the family whose home I'd be working on, I learned that I would literally be digging their home out of the mountain because of mountaintop removal. When one blows the top off a mountain, the mountain will erode. It literally fell into their home. Though this would not have happened if not for the coal mining company having blown the top off the mountain, the company did not have to pay for any damage done to the home. Coal is king in Appalachia. It didn't matter that they had ruined this family's kitchen and bedroom, leaving this family of 6 with one room to sleep in, no way to cook, and a warning from social services that if their home was not repaired within 6 months, the children would be taken away. I spent a week working with this family to fix their home, and I have never been as moved as I was that week. A company should not have the right to leave a family's home destroyed without receiving consequences. At this point, you may be wondering, does this affect me? My answer to this question is yes, it does. Appalachia is the headwaters for the entire East Coast and Midwestern United States. That means that it is not only the Appalachians who receive drinking water from these streams. Therefore, if their streams are being contaminated with coal slurry, chances are your drinking water is as well. Counties near mountaintop removal sites are experiencing more birth defects than ever before due to the pollution to the air and water. Some of these defects include malformed hearts and genitalia, circulatory and respiratory ailments, cleft lip, spina bifida, clubfoot, and diaphragmatic hernias. Along with that, animals from the Appalachian headstreams leading out to greater bodies of water, like our own, have been found with extra eyes on the sides of their heads and severe scoliosis. This is happening in our drinking water. While we hope that water distillation fixes this, it is clear that letting this pollution continue has the potential of being detrimental for many. Mountaintop removal also increases our carbon footprint. As mentioned previously, more than 7% of Appalachian forests have been cut down for mountaintop removal. Those trees used to create oxygen for us, providing fresh air and working to counter our carbon footprint. Now they are gone and will continue to be taken down. On the bright side, there is a solution. All that must be done is to end mountaintop removal mining. Let me make sure that you understand that I am not suggesting that we abolish all coal mining. Considering our dependency on coal, this would not be a reasonable answer at this time. We must start first by banning mountaintop removal. This can be done by passing the Appalachia Restoration Act. The Appalachia Restoration Act will amend the Federal Water Pollution Control Act. The goal of the Federal Water Pollution Control Act is to protect our waters and the animals living in them, but it does not state clearly what fill materials are not allowed to be dumped in the water. This has allowed coal mining companies to use the mountaintop removal process and dump the excess coal sludge and slurry into streams. The Appalachia Restoration Act will clarify what is and what is not allowed to be dumped into American waters. It will not allow for excess spoil produced by mountaintop removal to be dumped in waters, therefore banning the practice of mountaintop removal. This idea may concern some that we will not be able to produce the necessary amount of coal. Amazingly enough, for all of the devastation caused by mountaintop removal, our gain from it is very small. Only 5% of the coal produced is from mountaintop removal. If coal companies were forced to shut down their mountaintop removal sites, they would have to reinstate underground mining at these sites to keep them going. This means that we would not run out of coal and could create as many as 100,000 jobs in West Virginia alone, since underground mining requires human labor that cannot be replaced by machines. Another fear may be loss of financial sponsorship. While abolishing mountaintop removal mining benefits the environment and society, it would mean that mining companies would have to hire more people, meaning that they would have to spend more money, which they would not appreciate. It is common knowledge that large corporations help pay for political campaigns, and that coal companies have provided a large amount of money to specific political candidates with their interests in mind in the past. If you want to pass this act but are worried about losing sponsorship, I dare you to do it anyway. Though these corporations may be able to aid your campaign financially, in the end, it is the people who vote for you, and is made clear in recent months by the Occupy Wall Street protests occurring throughout America and even in Europe. The people are fed up with large corporations' power. This is your opportunity to get the approval of the people by not backing these coal corporations. We're ready for change, and you can bring it to us. Start by protecting our mountains, drinking water, and people. Bring us change and vote yes on the Appalachia Restoration Act. Thank you.